Welcome to our executive interview series at the Elastic Public Sector Summit produced by Feds Group. I'm Wyatt Cash, and we're here with Jerome Johnson, Director, National Security Solution Architecture at AWS. Jerome, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Wyatt. Appreciate you having me come here to answer some questions.
So first, I'd like to ask, from a cybersecurity strategic point of view, what are some strategies that are really proving most effective right now for agencies to protect their data? How does integrating advanced data analytics and AI increasingly play a role?
Yeah, so right now we're seeing a lot of agencies start to really adopt zero trust strategies, which basically is centered more around a framework to be able to protect data, whether it's through identity and access management, also centralized security around log and entry and data, I would say infiltration, as well as some level of prediction and anomaly detection. And so these things have been working for a while now. I think the challenge that they always have with this is that with that, you need to be able to comb through a massive amount of data. Through logs, things of that nature. Elastic has great capabilities to be able to do these things as well. And what we're starting to see in terms of more of advancement, this has always been the case, but I think we really are getting to the point now to where we have the technology to do it. And that's be a little bit more predictive around how to actually be able to protect these things. So be more proactive around those, as well as have some level of actionable steps that are taken that are being more around automation. When we start talking about AI and ML and some of the advanced technologies around that, generative AI is definitely playing a huge role in this, where we're actually able to leverage and query these models to actually come up with some, what I would consider constructive reasoning around the data. But I think you're going to start to see, especially in 2025, this change into agentic workloads in artificial intelligence. And really, agentic just means that now we'll be able to automate, leveraging the reasoning that we have now. Instead of just querying the data, you actually will have this application that will be able to talk to these models, and then from there be able to take some very actionable steps. Think of it as like, instead of usually it's just one step that's taken in terms of like, okay, there's a threat detection, alert someone. In this case, it'll actually alert, then based off of the rules that it has, connect to another system and be able to do some other proactive measures, maybe changing a setting back to where it needs to be in order to protect itself. And just leveraging, to me, a lot of sources of data to be able to do that and really see more effectiveness in terms of we move forward.
And then how important are cross-agency and public-private collaboration in advancing data analytics and also AI capabilities within the public sector?
Sure. I think especially this day and age in this environment now, and I know specific on the national security side, I would say this is happening across government. Collaboration is becoming even more increasingly important, just based off of the missions that they have, specifically around whether it's protecting national assets, or even if it's just regulations and policies that are happening between financial institutions. And so you can see this collaboration, and the challenge has always been everyone has their own data. How do we actually share that? One, do we have the policies to be able to do that? Two, do we have the technology to enable that? When you start to look at it from a security perspective, though, you really can now start to really see the life cycle of a particular threat that may happen, right? So in this case, there's a lot of bad actors that like to attack multiple systems in multiple ways. And if they're all disjointed and there's no way to communicate with that, sometimes there's no way to really track down where it actually is happening or be able to predict that. So the collaboration in terms of how we're able to share data, from whether it's logging data from some threat detection system across all these systems, and actually be able to triage that, I think is very important. So centralizing that data, which we do have tools out there. Again, Elastic has a lot of these tools, AWS as well, and us in Unison being able to do that together. You can actually start to really get more granular in terms of how you actually start to protect your workloads or your applications and systems moving forward. And I think what we'll start to see with artificial intelligence, again, like I was saying earlier around agentic workflows. So think of it as more of this application that is able to look across several disparate systems and actually be able to see an anomaly and be able to communicate with each one of those things automatically to be able to make some changes that need to be made from a proactive perspective, or even just alerting the right stakeholders to make sure that we're able to ensure our data and protection.
Well, Jerome Johnson, thank you for sharing your cybersecurity perspective here at the Elastic Public Sector Summit.
Thanks again. I appreciate you having me.